organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, a teenager attacks. See why one Iowa City sandwich shop worker is facing charges of attempted murder.
A new Iowa City high school? Maybe. We'll tell you why some parents are hesitant about the idea.
And in sports, another week, another Tuesday evening Iowa wrestling breakdown in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio.
That's all coming your way next. Daily Iowan TV is starting now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Tuesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Nicole Meehan.
And I'm Lauren Moss.
An Iowa City sandwich worker is facing charges of attempted murder after stabbing a customer with an 8-inch knife. 17-year-old Heather K. Stanfield appeared in court Tuesday morning and is being held on a $500,000 bond. Stanfield worked at the Red Pepper Deli and Grill located on the 500 block of South Riverside Drive. Police say Monday afternoon she stabbed a woman several times at the deli with a knife from the restaurant's kitchen. The customer's injuries were not life-threatening. Police have not released a motive.
And voters recently approved the new SAVE plan, which will allow the Iowa City School District to borrow up to $100 million until 2029. The district has discussed using the funds to renovate elementary schools and fund a new high school. 2 weeks after the vote, the school board is meeting tonight and may discuss the funding. Daily Iowan TV reporter Jacqueline Jordan has the story.
Here at the Educational Service Center, board members will meet in order to figure out district buildings' needs with only a limited amount of money. But some parents like Julie Van Dyke think that borrowing money will only put Iowa City plans even more behind because there is no proof of a high capacity rate in schools and no set plan.
I hate to see us go back and repeat all of the fights that have been going on since the silo was passed in 2007 about who was promised what. If we had a 5-year plan and we had them down on paper with what they want to do with this money, we wouldn't be arguing over who was promised what later on. We'd actually know what was intended, and then we'd be able to follow up on it and see how well they completed that work.
But Chief Financial Officer Craig Hansel sees borrowing money as a good thing because he knows Iowa City schools are behind.
It makes good financial sense to really consider the possibility of borrowing and bringing some of that money forward now so that we can put up some of these new seats. I mean, we're educating kids out of 41 portables. We already know we're behind, and so now is a good time to address a lot of those needs, whether it's renovation, expansion, or actually new buildings.
The school district will not have a final report of the capacity rate until the end of May or end of June. This is Jacqueline Jordan, Daily Iowan TV.
Thanks, Jacqueline. State lawmakers debated the latest version of Governor Terry Branstad's education reform plan. Governor Branstad's original proposal increased teachers' salaries from $28,000 to $35,000 last week. Republicans in the House Education Committee scaled back the governor's plan. The scaled-back version would see teacher salaries increase to $32,000.
And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, new homes. Find about a new possible housing development that could come to Iowa City.
And in sports, we'll get you ready for the Big Ten Swimming Championships taking place in the Twin Cities tomorrow night.
That's coming up in just a bit, but now let's check in with Daily Iowan TV's Whitney Blakemore for your local weather forecast. And Whitney, what can we be expecting this week?
Thanks, Lauren. There's no doubt that today was a cold one, and unfortunately this weather is not going away anytime soon, as the snow is heading our way for the weekend. But before we get ahead of ourselves, tomorrow morning we'll start off with clear skies at a chilly 10 degrees. As the day goes on, it will reach up to a high of 21 degrees, and it will end up staying at that temp throughout the end of the day. As we look into our 6-day forecast, the temperature will start to slightly rise, but some snow and fog will be near. Thursday has a 100% chance of snow, with a high in the 30s. The snow will continue to fall into Friday with a 40% chance and temps rising to about 36 degrees. Saturday and Sunday will bring some fog after all that snow, and Sunday's high will be at 43, the highest temp we will see all week. And finally, as we jump into next week, Monday will have a high at about 40 and a low at 28. Well, that's all the weather I have for tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
The Iowa City City Council will vote on a resolution Tuesday night to approve a large housing development. The proposal includes building 40 multi-family housing units on the 700 block of South Dubuque Street. The company 404 building the units says the new establishment will replace housing lost in the 2008 flood. If the City Council approves the project, the company will have to submit a proposal by March 1st.
The Iowa City City Council will also be making their final vote on whether 19 and 20-year-olds can stay in the bars with entertainment venue exemptions until closing. Approving the change would eliminate the midnight curfew for underage students at bars that are considered entertainment venues. For the results of the vote, check out Wednesday's issue of the Daily Iowan.
A new supporter has joined the crusade against building a new casino in Cedar Rapids. The Isle of Capri Casino in Waterloo will contribute up to $150,000 to the Just Say No casino campaign. The Riverside Casino just outside Iowa City is already part of the campaign and plans on spending up to $1.5 million. The owner believes the new casino will hurt their business.
And now let's take a look at what is happening outside of Iowa City. South African Olympian Oscar Pistorius is facing charges for the murder of his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. The athlete known as Blade Runner due to his prosthetic legs claims he thought Steenkamp was an intruder. Pistorius fired 4 shots through his bathroom door while Steenkamp was hiding inside. If convicted, Pistorius faces a mandatory life sentence.
In Belgium, officials are on a hunt for $50 million worth of stolen diamonds. A group of armed robbers disguised as police officers took the diamonds as they were being prepared for flight. Armed with machine guns, the robbers stopped the plane, loaded the diamonds, and took off within a span of 5 minutes. Officials are still investigating on the breach of security that took place.
The most comprehensive map of the human brain is on its way. According to the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. government is planning a large-scale brain project that will span for about 15 years. Scientists will be able to see the inner workings of the mind and study how to treat various brain ailments like epilepsy. It is not yet clear how much funding the White House will seek for the project.
And now we'll throw it over to Ian Martin, who is standing by in the Daily Iowan Sports Studio and is ready to get you caught up on everything black and gold. Ian?
Thanks, Lauren, and hello to all of you. Welcome back into the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We have a lot to get to on the Tuesday edition of the program, including our usual in-studio breakdown with our wrestling insider Cody Goodwin and a poolside update ahead of the Women's Big Ten Swimming and Diving Championships from our own Iowa Swimming beat reporter Rebecca Swives. All that on the way, but first things first, a quick announcement. The Iowa basketball game on Thursday has been moved. Hawkeyes originally scheduled to travel to Lincoln to play the Huskers at 7 p.m. It is now a 1 p.m. Saturday start due to the impending snowstorm agreed upon and sent out today by the Iowa, Nebraska athletic departments and the Big Ten Conference. No word about TV for that one, but we will get that to you tomorrow. As for tonight, we start with an exclusive interview with UI head track coach Larry Wazorek, whose former runner Eric Sawinski shattered the American 600-meter record in New York City over the weekend. Our own Annie Costable caught up with the legendary Coach Wiz this afternoon.
The saying is that no one's irreplaceable, but right. You know, a guy like Eric, I said this at our banquet, a guy like Eric Sawinski and Troy Doris, they may not be irreplaceable, but it's going to be a long time to find a couple of guys like that. Again, quickly, I realized that he beat Dwayne Solomon and Nick Simmons, who were 4th and 5th in London in the 800 meters in the finals. You know, right. They ran 142 plus. Both those two guys are two of the best 800 meter runners in U.S. history. And so the guys that run the 600 also, you know, run the 800, and they were 4th and 5th, just missing medals in the Olympic Games. So two of our best athletes ever. and Eric had a win over those two guys. They were the two guys going for the American record, and then here's our little old Hawkeye from Iowa City, Iowa, goes out there and into the Big Apple and upsets them. And Eric has all the attributes. I mean, he's got terrific leg speed because he's run great 4x4 relay legs for us, here in college. And he's developing the stamina and the endurance, and he's got the guts and the competitive drive to close out races. We've got some terrific athletes in the program that will be back next year and in subsequent years. And then, we haven't announced our recruiting class yet, but we've got a terrific recruiting class that I'm very excited about. So I think the future of Hawkeye track and field looks bright.
And several UI athletes will have a chance to break some of their own records on Wednesday night in the water. Our own Rebecca Swibes is poolside at the Campus Wellness and Recreation Center with our Daily Iowan TV preview of the Big Ten Women's Swimming and Diving Championships that's taking place in the Twin Cities tomorrow night. Rebecca?
Hey guys, I'm here at the pool where the Hawkeye women just left and are heading to Minnesota, where the Gophers are hosting this year's Big Ten Championship meet. The Hawkeyes are looking to improve from their 9th place finish last year, and with some fresh talent, things are looking up for the Hawkeyes. Freshman Olivia Komasinski will be competing in 4 events, including the 50 freestyle, which she broke the school record in earlier this year at Hawkeye Invitational. For junior transfer Lindsay Seaman, this will be her first time competing in the Big Ten Championship meet. But as a former 2008 Canadian Olympian, Seaman should have no problem adding some points for the Hawkeyes. And last but not least, sophomore Becky Stoughton will be returning after receiving the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2012. Stoughton will be competing in multiple events, including the mile, which she placed 9th in at the NCAA Championship meet. Well, that's all from me here. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Rebecca. And finally, we welcome in our wrestling insider, Cody Goodwin, tonight back into the Daily Iowan TV Sports studio. Cody, you did not speak with head coach Tom Brands today. Availability this week moved back to Wednesday. But having said that, what do you think Coach Brands is going to say tomorrow about the victory over Edinburgh last weekend?
And he's probably not going to say anything about the victory over Edinburgh because that's just not Tom Brand's style. As we've known and we've seen all season long, he's always been one of those guys that just continues to push forward, move his team forward, continue to look ahead after the job is done. 31-6 win over Edinburgh is already over with. I can't anticipate that he'll be talking about the national duels coming up this weekend.
Well, it's his job to look ahead, but it's our job to look back, break down a little film, and there was one spectacular individual performance that came from Tony Ramos in that Edinburgh match. Let's break out the tape. And Cody, 133, what do you see from Ramos here?
You see here, it just looks like a basic type, but you see there, we'll slow down the tape a little bit. Look at the way Ramos has his left arm on AJ Shop's head there. It's a nice little tie. He's got it around the chin. He's got his hand around the chin there. Speed it back up to normal speed.
Good defense by Shop to get out of the headlock.
It was very good. You see right here, again, we're going to slow it down. This time, that same exact head move that Ramos is able to gather on AJ Shop led to the takedown in the eventual cradle lock. You'll see there on the screen. That's he wasn't able to get the turn or any points off of the cradle there. But you see that nice little head. He's able to get a hold of the chin like that, twist it a little bit, gain control of his opponent, and that time resulted in a takedown. That move very lethal for Tony Ramos, who's been very offensive all season long. He actually, the last time he was able to lock up that cradle before the Edinburgh match, he pinned his Nebraska opponent 2 weeks ago.
Well, Ramos proving that if at first you don't succeed, try and try again, whether it's headlocks or life. As always, thanks for coming in, Cody. We will that'll do it for us here in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio, but be sure to tune in throughout the week for an exclusive interview with our former Hawkeye defensive back, Micah Hyde, ahead of his week at the NFL Combine, as well as a preview of now Saturday's matchup between Fran McCaffrey's Hawks and the Cornhuskers of Nebraska in Lincoln. Guys, back to you at the desk.
Thanks for that, Ian. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Wednesday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about increasing beef prices in Iowa.
And see why Bruce Rossiter believes he did not overstep his authority.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check us out tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for watching and have a good night.